students? I hope all of you are doing well and that Tuesday has been kind to you. It is one of the most hectic days of the week. Mondays are still okay. Half the day goes in the Monday blues. Moreover, we're just making sure how the week should look like. So Monday is more about planning and plotting. Tuesday and Wednesday are the 2 days that really, haul us up. So they are the ones wherein we have to go all in, we have to put in so much of effort, so on and so forth. By Thursday, we get into the weekend mode. Friday is a pre-weekend, and then come Saturday and Sunday. So I think the most productive and the most strenuous of the 2 days that we have in the week are generally Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So circling back to the question that I have, is Tuesday really being kind to you? And I'm here to make it all the more kinder. Before we begin, if I could just get a heads up on the audibility, please let me know in the chat box as to whether I am audible or not. And with that, let us start with another very fun session from Word Power Made Easy today. But we cannot unless we get a clarification on the audibility. If you could please let me know. Yes, I will speak in Hindi. Okay, so I will be bilingual. Of course, I cannot be majorly Hindi, but I will be bilingual so that it does justice to the entire audience clan that we have. Okay, now, so I have a heads up that says that my side of the voice is not clear. Can I have somebody else also who can write to me as to my audibility? Can you hear me? So Sham, आप भी एक बार एक confirmation दे सकते हैं अच्छे से सुनाई दे रहा है कि नहीं? Only if I have that heads up can we begin, right? So, okay, it's clear. Right then, maybe Ishan, you might want to check your end of the internet because I think the troubleshooting needs to be done your end. My end seems to be absolutely fine because I have a confirmation from the other ones as well. Now, let's begin with what I have in store for you. We're going to be taking into account 2 sessions that we have, a pre-recap of session 18 and of course session 19, which extensively relate around the talking habits and the talking heads with the root words. So root words, something that we have established, are by far one of the easiest way to come around vocabulary. Vocabulary will always be a task. Remember, it is how you wish to, divide that task. So the easier you get with vocabulary, the more interactive you get, the more it is on your side. The more you get onto the conventional method of just mugging them up, vocabulary is never going to be your friend, my dears. And so much to say that do din ki chandni fir kali raat hai. You will just forget it in about 2 days of time. So with that, let us get on to the session that we have. So as you can see, the drop down says we're going to be studying the vocabulary. We're of course going to be studying the roots, and towards the end, stay tight, we're going to have a fun quiz. So in the quiz, I would want you guys to keep writing in the chat box as to what is it that we have. Yes, Darsh, daily yahi time pe hoga. So make sure that you are able to put to play the quiz. And if you're able to solve the quiz, which means the words are there for you to stay. And with that, let us start. Let's decide on the intro. So of course, there are people who whisper, people who yell, people who never stop talking. हर type के लोग होते हैं. ज़्यादा बोलते हैं, कम बोलते हैं, कुछ नहीं बोलते हैं, nonsense बोलते हैं, they beat around the bush. Then there are some people who walk the talk, एकदम मुद्दे पे बात करते हैं, so on and so forth. But can we really describe them very smartly with one word? Maybe after today's session, you can. So this is what you are here for, to be able to learn words in which in the most appropriate manner, सबसे apt तरीके से आप बता दोगे कौन सा इंसान या कौन सा word किस चीज के लिए है. Hold tight and let's begin. First things first, we're going to talk about a couple of root words which are around talking. So कौन-कौन से root words होते हैं? Starting with the first, पहला है लोक्वा और लोक्वी. Root word, it means to speak. So बात करने को लोक्वा बोलते हैं, which is why the word loquacious, somebody who loves quoting, somebody जिसको बहुत ज़्यादा बोलना पसंद है. The root word is here, qua. The next word is dict. Dict is a root word which means to say or to declare or to instruct, which is why we have the word dictator, dictates. Dictator अपने सारे instructions बताता है, say करता है, ऐसे करना है, ये करना है. Remember school में dictation करते थे? Dictation क्यों करते थे? Because that is what the word is. Likewise, कितने भी dict से word सोच लो, all of these words will revolve around instruction, saying or to give proper to give proper mannerisms in which something needs to be done. The next is tas or tacit. Tak or tacit both means to be silent. Chup, chuppi साध लेना, बिल्कुल भी बात नहीं करना. So the word that we have is tacit or taciturn. Taciturn is used for people who are highly reserved, and tacit becomes lip-tied. The next is walk or vox. It means voice, which is why we have this very common phrase that says vox populi, which is the voice of the nation. So vox popul, it means the people's voice, which is why we have the word voice in the first place, because voice also takes into account the same root word that we have. Vocal, voice, all of these take into account the same root word. The next word that we have is verbum. Verbum means a word, which is why हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, मेरे को ये चीज चाहिए verbatim, word for word, हर एक word का चाहिए. So means a verb, which means a word in action. Hence we have the part of speech also, which is called the verb, which means the action word. And the last is volve or volume, which means to roll, which is why voluble becomes words that roll. So these are the root words that we have in account for today. And let's see what do we have next in furtherance to these words. So let's see a couple of words, and let's see the kind of personality that we have with respect to all of these words that we have. Now beginning with the first word that we have is taciturn. We just did the root word. Root word हमारे यहाँ पे tack है. Tack means somebody who's quiet. चुप्पी साध लेता है, जो ज्यादा बात नहीं करता. So somebody who is a habitual silent person. हमेशा चुप ही रहता है. So the way or mnemonic to remember this word can be taciturns in convos. So somebody who is a very tacky person will turn in convos. He is not going to speak. He is not going to have anything to put on the table. The root word that we have, of course, is tact. The next word that we have is reticent. Root word इसमें tacere है, which means, and in fact, ret is also a root word, or rec, which means to be reserved. So reticent becomes somebody who is reluctant to speak. Reluctant मतलब जो ज़्यादा बात नहीं करना चाहता, जो hesitant रहता है बात करने के लिए. So somebody who rethinks before speaking, or is just so hesitant that doesn't want to be speaking at all. The next word is loquacious. अभी हम लोगों ने ये वो root word किया. The root word is loqua. So loqua means to speak. So loquacious becomes somebody who is extremely talkative. Somebody who's a very garrulous person. Loves quoting non-stop. ऐसे याद रख लो, हमेशा बस बोलता जाता है. Non-stop train है ये. Next, garrulous. अभी हम लोगों ने ये word बोला था. So garrulous comes from the root word that is garriere, which means chatter, a chatterbox. So the meaning is rambling chatterbox. Rambling is जो बोलता जाए, चुप ही ना हो. Remember the word is grr, won't stop, right? Like a roar is how it is. Next is verbose. Verbose is somebody who is too wordy. Comes from the root word verbum, verb, which means words. Which is why somebody जो बहुत सारे words को ले लेके बोलता है, बड़े eloquently बोलता है, बड़े articulately बोलता है, पर बहुत सारे words को लेके बोलता है, is who becomes a verbose. So it's like a verb overdose is how you can remember this word. That's the best mnemonic for it. Voluble, something that is smooth, and somebody who is an effortless talker. Because somebody who will know how to roll in the conversation. Right? We just did the root word. The root word is volue, which means to roll in. So words roll off like butter. Makhan ki tarah सारे words उसके मुंह से निकलते हैं. So somebody again who is very articulate, somebody who uses a very nice mannerism of speaking. Next, vociferous. Vociferous is going to be anything that is very loud, very noisy, very शोर शराबे वाला, वैसे type का होता है. So it has the root word which is walk. We just did, that is the voice. So voice that carries far, दूर दूर तक लोगों को सुनाई दे जाए कि आप क्या बोल रहे हैं. Vociferous is how you can remember. Next, inarticulate. अब हमें पता है कि जब in लग जाता है तो वो किसी भी word का एंटोनिम बन जाता है. मेन वर्ड हमारा यहाँ पे articulate है, which means कोई जो बहुत सजा के, कोई जो बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से बोलता है. So inarticulate becomes a person who struggles to speak. कोई ऐसा बंदा जो बोल ही ना पाए. The root word over here is articulate, which is of course to utter. Articulate, इसलिए हम articles लिखते हैं. We are trying to bring out our idea on paper. Banal, okay. The way, the mnemonic for it to remember can be bumble fumble. So the one person जो bumble fumble करेगा वो कौन बन गया अपना? Articulate, inarticulate person. Next, banality. Banality basically means boring, cliche, बहुत ही unoriginal. It's a very trite remark. It's something which is not exciting. It's something which is not new. It's not avant-garde. वही घिसी पिटी चीज वापस आ जाती है. Comes from the root word which is banal or banal, which means commonplace. It is something that's very common. So ban all banality. Obviously, we want originality. Originality rocks. So of course, we want to ban anything that is unoriginal. And the last is cogent. Cogent means logical or convincing. Comes from the root word cogere, which means to derive together. It has the word co, and then it has the word generic, which means anything which is just bringing in stuff that is logical, stuff that is generic, stuff that has a lot of sound reasonability to itself. The way to remember can be cool and urgent points is cogent. So cool and urgent को mix करके portmanteau बना दिया इन लोगों ने cogent. So that's like the most fun way. Miss lag आ रहा है. Okay. Sorry. So I just wanted to check somebody had written. Now, so that is the best way in which you can simply remember the word. So all of these mnemonics are tricks in which you can remember these words. Of course, you can use your own mnemonics. I tried to do a play with the words. I tried to twist and turn it in a really fun and a very cool manner. If you have some other way to remember the words, please be my guest. ऐसा कहीं पे भी नहीं लिखा है कि इन्हीं तरीकों से याद करना है. But these ways might just come in handy. They might just come in helpful. And with that, let's begin to the fun part. So we've already done about 10 words and about 7-8 root words. Now this is all what we will stick to, and you will tell me what needs to be done in today's class. So let's begin with the words that we have, and the first and the second, you're going to tell me what is going to be the correct meaning for it. Let's just start with all hands on chat box, everybody, and let us begin. One who never speaks but listens to all gossip. जिसको बात करने का मन ना हो, but जो सुनेगा सबका. What sort of a person is that? Now remember the root word that we have for it was tack. Tack means somebody who doesn't want to speak. So what is the word, guys? In the chat box, please, everybody. So one who is never going to speak but will listen. Very good. So it is a taciturn. Good job there. Let's see the next. One who turns every talk into a TED talk. अरे बंदा बोलता ही जा रहा है, चुप ही नहीं हो रहा है. It's like a TED talk. 15-20 मिनट मोनोलॉग चल रहा है उसका. So कैसे टाइप का बंदा हो गया ये अपना? In the chat box, everyone, what sort of a person do we have over here now? Somebody? बहुत ज्यादा बोलने का रूट वर्ड था क्वा. Remember? तो क्वा से कौन सा वर्ड आ रहा है हमारा? Eloquent was a synonym for what we used. But somebody who is able to speak a lot, it's not eloquent, guys. It is going to be क्वा से था ना? Loquacious. It's loquacious. Never mind, let's see. One who talks so much, it's exhausting. जो इतना बात करे कि एकदम थक जाते हैं और सुन के कान से खून निकल जाए. Is how we generally put it. So, okay, we'll take that into account, Sandhya. So one who listens but taciturn mostly is going to be a reserved person. Does not really have to be somebody who is not going to be a listener. Mostly not a speaker, but okay, taken into account. But then we can still have the answer to be. Very good. The next will be garrulous. One who over-explains everything. Who is going to be the one जो खूब बताएगा, ऐसे करो, ये करो, वो करो. That sort of a person. Right? He's just going to be. So बहुत बोलने के लिए one who puts a lot of words का तो हमें root word पता है, verb. Right? So word say very good. It is verbose. One who talks smoothly like a radio host. Somebody who glides like butter. So what sort of a person do we have over here? One whose words just roll out like the music to yours. What sort of a person do we have over there? Very, no, it's not going to be eloquent, close enough, but we've done the word right now for it. It is voluble. One who stays quiet out of shyness. Somebody who is very shy. जिसको ज़्यादा बात करना पसंद नहीं है, जो बड़ा रिजर्व सा रहता है. What sort of a person would that be? Somebody who's just going to be very small, very shy, very quiet, very good. It's going to be reticent. Who yells at protests with passion. खूब बात, खूब चिल्लाएगा, दूर दूर तक आवाज सुनाई देगी. तो उसका निमोनिक हम लोगों ने कहा था वॉइस फ्रॉम फार. कौन सा वर्ड था अपना ये? No, it's not going to be a timid. Timid, okay. Maybe can be for the other one who stays quiet. But we're doing it essentially from the root words that we just discussed. Right. So a vociferous. Guys, the exercise revolves around the root words that we did, so be careful of the words that you choose. Who fumbles every time they speak? So the one who is going to fumble every time one speaks, who's not able to bring the words together, articulate था मेरा, और उसी का opposite कर देंगे तो कौन बन गया? Excellent work. It is inarticulate. Which speech is painfully obvious and overused? बड़ी क्लीशे होती है यार, कुछ नया नहीं है, वही चीज वापस आई जा रही है. What is going to be the word for it? Very good. Banal. And who is the most convincing speaker in the courtroom? जो आपको मना दे. Somebody who's going to have, you're going to be convinced only when somebody is supported with logic, right? Somebody who is speaking some good content in it, just not speaking anything. Very good. So it's going to be cogent. Now that we have this, let's get on to the next. The next exercise again is who am I? So I have personalities. You will tell me what these are. Again, please make sure they're going to match up to the words that we did. So these are ways in which you can register the words and remember for a while. I will leave the words to you for 2 minutes and then we begin. So please punch in the answers as and when you have 2 minutes of time is what you get to finish this, and then is when we open for discussion. Very quickly, guys, start please. We will begin in 2 minutes of time, so I need you to be reading and penning down all of your ideas. Okay, I think with that we can start. Let's go, everybody. I talk to everyone and I never shut up. So the one who's going to talk to everybody will become a, or will be called a. The one who's going to be talking to everybody is going to be a loquacious person. Let's see the next. I speak only when absolutely necessary. सिर्फ जब जरूरी होगा तभी बात करूंगा, नहीं तो मैं नहीं बात कर रहा कुछ भी. I'd rather be in my own cocoon, in my own shell, and not want to be a participant to any conversation. So what sort of a person is that going to be? Do we have it in the chat box? It's going to be a taciturn. Next, I scream at debates and rallies. So somebody who's just going to scream and scream and scream. पूरे नारे लगाए जा रहा है. So that sort of a person will be a vociferous person. My words roll out like butter. So we just did this. This is going to be voluble. Guys, you all can keep checking your answers, please. My speech is full of cliches. So somebody who's not again very original means a banal conversation. I can't find the right word in front of the people. So if I don't know how to put it as to what I want to put, it's going to be inarticulate. I speak rarely, carefully choosing every word. So I'm very careful with how I speak, what I speak, and the room that I am going to be in, wherein I'm going to speak. So this is called being a reticent. People want me to stop talking. They're like, please chup ho jao bhai, ho gaya. Tab se baat kiye ja rahe ho. So of course that sort of a person will be a garrulous person. I always win debates with logic. Logic jahan aa jata hai, so it is cool and urgent, which is cogent. And the last, I say 100 words as to what could just be said in 10. 10 word mein khatam ho jata, but nahi, mujhe itna lamba chauda bolna hi hai. So of course I will be a verbose. So the three personality types: one who doesn't talk, one who talks a lot, and one who is going to choose the words depending on the kind of place that he is in. That's the kind of person that we took. Those are the kind of people that we took into account. And one last bit of exercise, we're supposed to match up the root words. There's no match, as in you just have to be filling in the blanks. Let's see. Loqua. So what is meant by the root word loqua, everybody? Just a quick summary, like a quick recap. Loqua is going to be, the root word loqua means to speak, right? Tas or tack. Tack as of a root word means, yes, it is to speak. Let's get on to the next one. Tack is silent. Very good. Verbum. What is meant by the root word verbum? Verbum is going to be word. Very well. Yes, that's what it's going to be. Walk or walk. What is walk? VOC. Walk becomes walk is going to be very loud. Okay, so that is the voice. Yes, that's why all words around walk are related to the voice. And the last is volve. What is meant by the word volve? It means to roll out effortlessly. So to be able to speak something absolutely effortlessly. And one more, a quick rapid recap of the things. Loqua or loqui are always the chatterboxes. Remember, जो सबसे ज़्यादा बोलेंगे. Tack or tacit are always the silent operators. चुप रहेंगे और देखेंगे क्या है. Verbose or verbum are the overtalkers, the non-stop people, the extroverts who will always be, the spotlight syndrome होगा उनको, हमेशा spotlight लेंगे, attention लेंगे party में. Vociferous are the protest yellers. Protest से याद रखना, इतना चिल्लाएंगे, कभी फिजूल का, कभी बेफिजूल का. And cogent are always the debate winners. So here is the kind of people and the talking traits that we have covered today. So now when you hear someone rant, mumble, yell, or wow a room, you have just the right kind of word to be able to label them. That's going to be it, guys. I hope this was a very helpful session. You've been able to learn not only the root word, but also the personality types. The kind of people who make up the room or who are just a fly on the wall, the silent spectators, but are also equally earful and make for the audience in the room. Next time you come across such people, use the word. Show off your vocabulary because that's what you're learning for. I'm going to come again next time with another session around Word Power Made Easy with some more cool words, some very super exercises But until then, please make sure that you do remember these, because if you're not remembering them, then what is it good for? Thank you so much. If you like the session, you know what to do. Please click the like button. Share it with other like-minded friends who are also preparing for exams or just wanting to enhance their vocabulary. And in the chat box, please do write to me what is it that you'd like to what is that you like me to take up next. If there's any topic outside Word Power Made Easy that you want me to take up, I'd always be your guest. It'll be my pleasure. Please do write in the chat box, and I'm going to see you guys next time again. Have a great Tuesday, everybody, and make sure that throughout the week you charm people around with these fancy words. Thank you so much.